I hold the key to a post office box for a client. He works out of town all week. I pick his mail up, put it in a large manila envelope, then deliver it on Friday afternoon at 3 sharp. It's a strange arrangement, but most of them are. Fears and phobias mostly. The sweet-smelling pastel envelopes suggest his affair. Marriage is a restrictive institution. I've yet to find a couple, hetero or homo, blissfully wed. If they are still married after the first few years, they'll divorce after the kids are gone. Grounds for divorce? Not happy, either party. Guess we're screwed believing the forefathers' pursuit of happiness as the gospel truth. I secure my seatbelt and see a text from my foot client. If you're available, please come today whenever you can. I'm strangely relieved he needs me. I like his house. It's manly and comfortable. I've never felt giddy before. This is a first. His kisses could be why. I look up from his text, all dreamy-eyed, and catch the black sedan in my rear view that's been scoping me. I watch an overweight guy get out and walk briskly toward my car. I throw it in drive, and the tires screech loudly. I drive the speed limit, but don't want to. I'm strangely nervous about the possibility of who is following me. I don't want some obsessed former client after me. I can't involve the authorities on any level. I've been using a fake ID for years. Gone through several aliases already. I head directly to my foot client's house. I don't look great, but I'm not trying to bed him anymore. He hired me to rub his feet. All the ache for him is my responsibility. He never came on to me. Like the user I am, I instigated it. I'm not a nymphomaniac. I've gone months without sex. If I find a man attractive, I have sex. I'm good with or without it. Nym, N-Y-M, F, P-H-O, May, M-A, Ni, N-I, Ac, A-C. Syllables help with spelling. I've checked my rear view and even drove a different way to make sure I wasn't followed. I know the entire area and every block like a grid in my head. I drive the shortest route to any location, but took the longest this time. I round the last corner, and paranoia makes me think I see the car. There are no other houses out here. I pull into the driveway, park closer to the house than normal, and turn the car off. I really don't want to go inside his house today, even though I was freaked he'd never need me again. Growing up with means made anything attainable, so I take and use. I've never been desperate for anything. I don't know how to see him and not be. I'm entangled with this guy. He has distinction, that of a real gentleman. I've never known one. I gave a flick about love, or the words used to express the trivialities. Love is an easy word to spell. It's one of those words kids know how to spell, like their own name, before their first day of kindergarten. I see the car down a good distance. Who's ever after me is persistent. I head reluctantly to the front door. I walk in and put my bag on his couch. He's not in his chair. I hear music down the hall, and I nervously call out for him. "In here," he calls back. I step into a whole different reality. The entire room is filled with his soulful music and wood art. The neutral colors of walnut and basswood are everywhere. It makes the room peaceful. He's sitting at a long table whittling, and I join him. He doesn't stop whittling. I spin slowly to see his intricate work around the room. The smell in here is aromatic. The sun rays catch the bits of wood floating in the air. He takes my arm and draws me to the work he's doing. "This is my new project." I look at it. The face hasn't taken shape. The shoulders are slanted and look like a woman's. The slender hands are incredibly detailed. They cross at the top of rounded breasts, and the fingers rest on the clavicle. I stoop to look closer at the lifelike hands. "Do you like this?" "I do like this." They're your hands. He lifts my left hand to show me. They are identical to mine. I see for the first time I have my father's fingernails, the pronounced nail beds like his that I always thought were stunning. You have beautiful hands. I'm very impressed. He stands and moves around me. In my jitters, I nearly grabbed a hold of him to chase it all away. Just let me get a pair of socks and I'll be ready. He halts at the doorway. I'm sorry if I upset you last night. I shrug my shoulders and give a nonchalant response. I'm glad we don't harbor anger. I snap a picture of his interpretation of me and go to the living room at his chair. I compose myself and watch him walk the long hallway toward me. I've got a break from being here every day. Will you tell me why? I walk to his front room window. You see that car? It's parked far down the road, but there are never cars near his isolated home. He looks at the car. It's been following me. He surprises me when he bolts from his house. I watch as he moves directly to the car. He does so with determination. It leaves no contemplation as the spin of tires kicks up dust. I watch the way he stands, hands on his hips, shoulders squared, staring hard after the car. He looks small this far away, but he's larger than life. I watch closely as he heads back inside his house. He's caught off guard by my eyes that appear fearful. Not for me, but for him. I don't know who's trolling me, but I don't want him hurt. Nothing astonishes me, but his bravery has. I'm a struck deer when out of the blue he scoops my mouth with his lips and tongue, and his hands skim and squeeze. This is distinctly different, intensely purposeful, severely passionate. It's so good I'm wet but weak. He makes me breathe loudly. I wait for his next move. He begins to cry while I'm incapacitated. I have this funny sense of being in any given moment, so I start to cry too. My tears fall onto his face while his stream his cheeks. I notice this as I've opened my eyes to see his face, which is sad and content all at the same time. His hands are on my face along with his mouth. He kisses the tears off my face. He kisses my ripe mouth, then backs away, then kisses me again. He touches me with his lips, then looks at me. He repeats this over and over. I don't mind, because he tastes remarkable. The texture of his mouth is a delicacy, making me weaker. I can control whatever situation I'm in. I don't need to take anyone's lead. With him, I'm fine with it. He doesn't demand it. So I gaze at him while he looks at every part of my face. I go with it. I'm symbiotic with him. His beard is soft, like hidden skin. It doesn't irritate the surface of my face and feels like caterpillar legs. Susie used to find them on the grounds of our estate. She'd put them on me and giggle, watching them crawl across my face. He wipes my face dry and cleans his with his sleeves. We smile at each other, and he takes a step away. Who's following you? I have no idea. Do you have a boyfriend? No. Are you in trouble? No. Who do you think it is? Clueless. I'll call the cops. I emphatically tell him no. He puts his hands firmly on my waist. I want you. His voice is erotic. The way he says this, with his hands on me, is incendiary. I can hardly kiss him without arousal. His hands are on the highly erogenous zone of my midriff. Now he's admitting his want. My earlier thought not to pursue him goes against my take whatever's in the moment style. He tugs me onto the couch. I can't, he tells me. It has nothing to do with being incapable. That's good to know. At least he confesses what he really wants. Everyone wants something more, a piece of the other person to satisfy themselves. I'm greedy. I want what I want and have no interest in anything beyond. I don't believe there's some greater calling or deeper meaning, except with him. Unlike myself, he's an honest person. I'm so sour. I thought he must be too. He isn't. Instead, he has this sexy, unassuming nature. He's nothing like me. Are you married? Maybe that's why he can't. He looks at me funny. No, he answers strongly and turns away. His head turns fast at me. Are you? I shake my head. He stands to his feet and removes his shirt. He drops his jeans to the floor. He pulls his socks off his feet. He reveals his ass with a tug on his tight boxers. The entire left side of his body is maimed and scarred. His body is perfect. Perfect. Whatever nasty accident happened left him shackled with this burden. I want to tell him he has a beautiful physique, but it won't matter because what he used to see of himself is clearly not what he is now. It's convincing a man that female pleasures do not come strictly from the size of their dicks, but how they use the ones they've got. Anything said would be irreverent, as he is disgusted by his body. I see it clearly in his eyes. I'm doused in desire. He reads it on my face. In a cute way, he laughs, while he slips his jeans back on his legs designed like pillars of fortification. He takes his seat next to me. I tried to pay for sex, but I couldn't go through with it, he says. Is it the scars? I can't have sex without growing attached. Are the scars why you can't with me? I have no scars when you're with me. What is there to say to that? I'm shocked by him. Do you not want to grow attached then? Is that why? I'm already attached to you, he firmly puts it. When you didn't flinch to rub my feet, I was hooked on you. I know if we make love, you'll be gone. You don't know me at all, I snap. He does know me. Shit. I'm a conniving beast. I use everyone, especially men. I have no long-term goals for anything. He sees through me like Susan did. I'm never anxious or scared, but I'm pulling on my bottom lip like I did as a frightened child, terrified Susan would die from her illness. Let's have sex and not consider it making love, I say to his traditional outlook. He swings his head in disappointment. I'm a broken individual. Is that what you want to hear? You think you're broken? I never thought so, but by some standards I've been told I am. I would have to agree. I change my mind. I'm broken. Makes us even. I stand from the couch and strip down to my skin. I spin around slowly thrice. His eyes check me from head to toe. I have all 10. I throw my outerwear back on and don't bother with wet underwear. I sit close on the couch with him. Wow, he confesses. I'm still broken. Inside, he grins. Not outside, he tells me with manly emphasis. I don't see how you are at all, I confess. You're the guy any woman would want. Any but you. I want you. You'll be gone. Did you want me to rub your feet? I've purchased numerous items to extend past a foot rub. His heels are hard, and I use a pumice stone to exfoliate the surfaces. I use the sanding tools on several spots. My hands are busy on his feet, but my mind is on the sculpture and his words. His feet are like my heart, superficially calloused. He clearly thinks about me as much as I do him. He likes that I clip his toenails. When I finish and his clean socks are on his feet, he sits up in the chair. I get my undergarments and stuff them in the foot bag. You give more every time you're here. I take pride in the work I'm paid for. It's why I think you're wonderful. He touches me softly, here and there. It makes it hard not to want him in bed. I thought I could go with whatever was in front of me. I want to think he's one of those guys who baits a woman's passions just to tease and get out of her what he wants. I've known many. I want to think it's so, but he wants nothing more. No ulterior motives. He understands things. I don't. He knows how to be patient in the company of someone else. I don't want you to be alone with somebody tailing you. I'll text you when I make it home. I feel responsible for your safety. I shrug my shoulders and ask him, why? I care about you. That's a sentiment that would flatter most women. Does it bother you that I want to protect you? It's something I've never had. How did no one ever defend you? Protecting and defending are two different things. Technically. With the last of the items back in the foot massage bag, I stand to leave. How did no one protect you? He's on his well-serviced feet now. I didn't need it. Everyone needs it. Well, who does that for you? My family did at one time. Why don't they anymore? They're all dead. Without thought, I drop the bag and grab a hold of him. 2 sisters, younger than him, and his parents, dead, he tells me. I'm aware of the tragedy he suffered. I tell him softly I'm here. He's completely a man, but fine with his tears, unlike most men who think tears are a sign of weakness. Wouldn't want the show of tears to make them relate to a woman or show their intimate side. I never saw my father cry, not even when Susie killed herself. Loss makes people real. Not enough loss is evident when the meaningless struggle to obtain continues to be thrashed after. Money, possessions, popularity, I've had it all. It meant nothing. He lost his entire world. All things can be replaced. People can't be. When you lose what counts and you punch through the anger, you're no longer rapacious. It's why he's cavalier. It's spelled wrong in my head, but he is. He tells me thank you and holds on tightly until he's satisfied. My hands freely offer appropriate affection to his grief. Like my sheepish, sugary tones, I find it easy to be intimate with him. I think he's sweet when he follows me to kiss me on the stoop. Goodbye kissing is like nothing else.